Representative Cummings, and all the distinguished members of Congress seated on the dais. I appear before you today because the trafficking of illegal firearms, I appear before you today because the trafficking of illegal firearms in our nation's cities must be addressed by Congress. Gun trafficking is a volatile catalyst for crime and violence in America. I have been in law enforcement 44 years, and I have seen gun carnage of all kinds. I speak to you as Commissioner of the Philadelphia Police Department, President of the Police Executive Research Forum, and as President of the Major City Chiefs Association, representing the 63 largest police departments in the nation, where gun violence takes its greatest toll. The cities and communities we represent across the nation are no stranger to the threat of gun violence as a result of illegal firearms trafficking. We are here today to sound a call to action. America's leaders must recognize the need for more sensible gun policy. Major cities chiefs support comprehensive legislative strategy that includes a universal background check, strengthening the national incident check system to include mental health information, among other critical measures. Such reforms are long overdue, and we commend you for this measure to stop gun trafficking through the prevention of straw purchasing. Currently, there is no federal statute specifically prohibiting straw purchasing, and law enforcement officials need the critical tools provided by this bill. The current quote-unquote paperwork violation of a false statement on gun purchase forms does little to deter or stop anyone. Straw purchasing is a national problem pervading every major American city. This free pass to buy guns is used by gangs, local drug dealers, and transnational gangs and cartels. It's an easy avenue and loophole to acquire guns. Straw purchasers are individuals recruited and paid to buy firearms for professional criminals who use those guns as tools of their trade. Straw purchasing gets around the Brady background checks, and the worst criminals are thus able to buy weapons indirectly from gun dealers. So long as straw purchasing is rampant, it will defeat the entire national incident check system. Typically, transactions involve the purchase of only a relatively small number of firearms per sale. The result is that criminals are able to use third-party buyers to elude the background check and thus obtain their firearms outside of the law. Law enforcement officials across the nation have disparaged the lack of legal tools available to stop gun crime and straw purchasing. This is an essential step forward. Having served as a police officer in the cities of Chicago, Washington, D.C., and Philadelphia, and as president of the Major City Chiefs, I have witnessed the result of gun trafficking across America. In my own city of Philadelphia last fall, my police officers teamed up with federal ATF agents to arrest 17 criminals and charge them with illegally selling firearms. Confiscated firearms included assault weapons like semi-automatic handguns and AK-47s. 72 weapons were seized, making it the biggest raid in recent history in our city. What we stopped in Philadelphia occurs every day across the nation, as untold numbers of guns are acquired by violent criminals through straw purchasing. Last October in New York City, 16 suspects were arrested in Upper Manhattan and charged with trafficking firearms. The 16 individuals reportedly sold more than 100 illegal guns, weapons most likely bought from gun dealers in other states. The suspects were apprehended in a sting operation where undercover officers posed as the buyers. In Los Angeles in June 2011, 9 defendants were arrested as part of an undercover operation targeting gun traffickers in the San Fernando Valley. The defendants were part of a network which illegally distributed acquired firearms. Charges included the conspiracy to deal in firearms without a license and transfer of an unregistered machine gun in violation of the National Firearms Act. In Laredo, Texas last September, a total of 7 people were convicted of the minor offense of making false statements in connection with firearms purchases. They certified on forms that they were the true buyers of the firearms, but they were actually paid to purchase the firearms for others. Some of the firearms were shipped to a licensed gun dealer to attempt to make the transfer legal. This happens every day and must be addressed by a new federal statute to stop straw purchasing. I applaud all of you in your dedicated work together in order to pass legislation that will give law enforcement officials the critical tools necessary to combat gun trafficking in America's cities. The bill will make a difference in 3 ways that really matter to law enforcement. First, by enacting a criminal statute specifically prohibiting straw purchasing, the bill helps to stop the source of illegal gun flow. Until the flow of guns to gangs and cartels can be stopped, we will not make progress in our struggle with gun violence. Second, the bill proposes substantial penalties. Violators of the new law can be in prison up to 20 years and conspirators up to 10 years. This will deter many and remove from the streets those who are convicted. These legal tools are long overdue in our struggle with gun violence. Third, by specifically making straw purchasing a federal crime, the bill commits federal resources for its implementation and enforcement. Chiefs and sheriffs in major cities and local governments welcome this aid and added resource as a much-needed support for a fight in which we are overwhelmed. The Gun Trafficking Prevention Act of 2013 is a critical first step toward comprehensive reform of gun laws. Together we can stop the unchecked escalation of gun trafficking throughout the nation and ensure our country's improved safety. We commend the members of Congress who now propose these measures, and we pledge our support to pass the bill. As a lifelong police officer and now Commissioner of American Cities, I thank you for all you do to safeguard the public we are sworn to serve.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Ramsey. I understand you're going to have to go, but we really appreciate you being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.